Hi, it's Dina, and I'm so excited you're here to read with me today. We're reading The Bear's House by Marilyn Sachs. When my mom was a fourth grade teacher, this was one of her favorite books to read to her class, and she gave it to us as a gift for me to read to my kids. So here we go The Bear's House. January. Everybody in my class knows my name. It's Fran Allen Smith. I'm nearly 10. I suck my thumb, and everybody says I smell bad. I can smell my smell. It's a sucking smell. I don't think it's bad. It smells like me. Everybody knows my name. I don't care if they do, but nobody knows about me in the bear's house. Nobody ever will. The bear's house is up on a table at the back of my classroom. Teacher's father made it for her when she was a little girl, long, long ago. That's Miss Thompson, only she was called Blanche then. She didn't look like she looks now. I know because inside the house there is a fireplace. And right over the fireplace there is a tiny picture of a girl with long curls. The picture has a fancy gold frame, a teeny tiny one, and underneath it is like a metal plate the teacher calls a plaque. The plaque says Blanche's house, and the picture is Blanche, and that was Miss Thompson when she was little. Only it's not Blanche's house anymore. It's my house. My picture should be hanging over the fireplace, and the plaque should say Fran Ellen's house. The three bears live in the house, so it's their house too. My house and their house. Nobody else's. Right now they're outside the house, coming up the stairs. Three china dolls with brown bear's hair and big smiles on their faces. But they won't keep on smiling when they find Goldilocks in their baby's bed. Because she's there, asleep. A little hard white doll with hard yellow painted hair and little blue eyes that open and close. But now they're closed because she's asleep in Baby Bear's bed. Everything in that house was made by Miss Thompson's father or mother, except Goldilocks and the three bears. In those days, Miss Thompson says, mothers and fathers took good care of their children, and children were respectful and clean. Miss Thompson is always talking about other times when people were better and always respectful and clean, especially around teachers. She's been teaching at PS 87 for more than 30 years, she says, and even the children years ago were better than they are today. Everything was better, and she ought to know. I can tell it was better because of the bear's house. If children had fathers who made them presents like that, it must have been better. The house has 3 rooms and is all open in the back. Downstairs there is the kitchen and the living room, and upstairs a great big bedroom. The front door has a knocker on the outside, and an itty-bitty floor mat in front of it that says welcome. All the windows have glass and open and shut. Miss Thompson says that never once has the glass broken in any one of those windows. She says it's because her father did such a great job putting the glass in and joining all the parts that got joined. That's why, she says, in all the 30 years the Bears house has been sitting in PS 87 and has been played with by all those kids, not one single piece of glass ever cracked. Maybe, like she says, it was because her father knew what he was doing. But I think it must have been that all those kids made sure not to break the windows. I think maybe all of those kids must have loved the Bears house, only none of them ever loved it the way I do. I don't even have to touch it anymore. I did in the beginning, but now I know without looking that if you open the closet upstairs in the bedroom, there are 5 dresses hanging on little hangers that are for Mama Bear. One of them is made out of blue satin with pearls around the neck. That one is a ball gown, teacher said. Not to wear to ball games like Henry Jackson thought, but to big fancy dances that people used to call balls. The blue satin dress is real pretty, but Mama Bear has a bright yellow and red flowered dress with all kinds of ruffles and a straw hat with red ribbons and lots of flowers to match. I like that one the best. All the beds have sheets on them and pillowcases with lace on the edges. Baby Bear's bed is like a crib, and his blanket is made of pieces of material Miss Thompson calls a patchwork quilt. Miss Thompson lets some children help her take care of the house. The children who are best behaved in December get to help in the New Year cleaning in January. I didn't get picked. Jennifer James did, and Carol Moreno and Franklin Coates. They washed the windows and waxed the floors and polished the furniture. Teacher told them to take the pictures off the walls and wipe the dust off them. One of the pictures, Miss Thompson says, she made after she got the house. It's embroidery, and it says, God bless this house. I guess I am lucky. I am lucky to have Miss Thompson for my teacher. If I was a year younger or got left back, I would not be in this fourth grade class now, and I would not have Miss Thompson. If there was no Miss Thompson, there would be no Bear's house. Where are you going, teacher, after this term? Somebody will ask. I am retiring, says Miss Thompson, and talks about all those 30 years and how she's getting too old and tired. Who's getting the Bear's house, teacher? I still have not decided, says Miss Thompson, but as I told you at the beginning of this year, the child who earns it, the child who most deserves it, the child who works the hardest to improve himself and demonstrates. That's the way she talks, on and on, with words that don't mean anything. And then Jennifer James and Rosalie Gonzalez kind of eye one another up and down. Everybody knows it's got to be one or the other of them. Rosalie's the smartest kid in the class, and she keeps bringing these fat books into school to show teacher what she's reading. But Jennifer is teacher's pet, and she's always running errands for Miss Thompson and laughing and snuggling up to her. You can see Miss Thompson can't help herself liking Jennifer best, so I think Jennifer will get it. And that's the way it should be. If you have something precious and you're going to give it away, if it was me, I'd give it to someone I liked most, like my baby sister Flora. So that's why I am lucky to be in Miss Thompson's class this year. Next year there won't be any Miss Thompson, and there won't be any Bear's house. I don't like to think about next year, because, like I told you, it is really my house, and it will go right on being my house, whoever she gives it to. Every day I try to be with the Bear's house. Any kid who finishes first in reading or math can play with the Bear's house until the rest of the class catches up. I never finish first in reading, but lots of times I do in math. That's because I take the book home the night before and do the work at home. After Flora's asleep, I got lots of time. All right, Fran Ellen, you may play with the Bear's house, Miss Thompson will say, and I'll walk over real slow and act kind of like it's no big deal playing with the Bear's house. I am very careful because I think if she knew what really was happening, she would not let me play with it. So I get myself back there, and I settle myself down in front of it, and get my thumb in my mouth and get ready. Like I said, I never touch it. I don't have to touch it. Sometimes Miss Thompson will say, after a while, Fran Ellen, you can handle anything you like if you are careful. And once she said, I wonder why you even bother going over to the Bear's house. You only sit there with your thumb in your mouth. I don't think you even know the Bear's house is there. Yes, ma'am, I say to her, and I open the door and walk in.